Alright, today there's been some questions on how to set the head up on the Walkera V120D02S properly. We're going to do a short tutorial of that. We'll start, turn the radio on, plug the helicopter in, and let it initialize. Alright, the helicopter is ready to go. I'm going to disconnect the motor, keep it from spinning up while we're working on it. Put the adjust switch on the gyro. It's the bottom switch from WK to ADJ. That will level your swash. We're going to move throttle stick to halfway, and we're going to check and make sure that all of our links are at 90 degrees and that our swash plate is level and it's about halfway. If yours don't look like this, now's the time. Loosen up the arms if your servos are not 90 degrees and adjust them accordingly, and then take the arms, the pitch links off, and adjust those in or out to level the swash plate at mid stick. Once you get everything 90 up, if you get one that just will not go, cannot get it 90 degrees whatsoever off the servo horn, you can go into your radio. You're going to go through the function menu, go down to sub trim, and go to, you can see I had to use 5.5 to get my elevator servo to level out. But you can go down and you want to get these as close to 0 as you can. Now we'll move on. Everything's level all the way up to the swash plate. Easy way to do this for the pitch is turn your blades, just fold them in like that, and look straight down the side of them. As you can see, my blades are not tracking. I've got a little bit of negative pitch at 0 stick. That ain't gonna work. There's two ways to do this. You can be lazy about it. If it's not that much, you can go down to your pitch. Use centered my stick. Or, to do it the right way, you can put it back at 0, take the links off, just pop these off and adjust them. This one here is going to need to be shortened, and that one's going to need to be lengthened, and lengthen and shorten them accordingly to where they're perfectly in line with each other, like when we had 5.5 or whatever it was on the sub trim, to get them straight just like that. Mechanical is better because you lose some resolution in the sub trim. So if you can do it mechanically, it will benefit you in the long run. And I'm just going to pop one of these links off. Let's see which one needs what. This one needs to be shortened. I can do it without bending it. A pair of ball link pliers does wonders. going to double check and make sure I'm right. It needs to be shortened. We'll shorten it. One turn. We'll go 2 turns, 2 full turns. Hold it up there. That's going to be real close. You can put a pitch gauge on it, but it's almost not worth it. It's hard to read. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Shorten 2 turns. Like I shortened the one a little bit too much. You want to try to turn these a whole turn so that they do go on there. Most of them go on a certain way. You always want to keep that way the same. Mechanical setup is done, and I've got 0 sub trim on my pitch. Next, you want to make sure you've got the travel all the way up, all the way down. There's no binding on the top or the bottom. And you want to look at how much pitch you've got. That's at the top. That's at the bottom. You want them to be pretty close. I've got mine. We can go into our pitch, travel adjust. On the radio is the function menu, travel adjust. If your helicopter is bogging, when you give it collective inputs, I found that right there is the magic number for me. Now you can go up or you can go down depending on how well your collective management is going to depend on where your magic travel adjust will be. That is plenty of pitch for this little helicopter, and it works out nicely. Alright, now we'll take and put the helicopter back into Walkera mode. I'm sorry. We'll leave the motor unhooked for right this second. Go through, make sure everything's moving the right way. Put it in throttle hold. I'm going to plug the motor back in. Alright, it's spinning the right way, and we'll go and give it a quick test flight, make sure it's not going to bob. Okay, what we're going to do is just a few pitch pumps, make sure the motor's not bogging, tail's not blowing out, everybody's happy. As you can see, it's got plenty a pitch, plenty of power. And that's pretty much how you set the head up.